Nonverbal communication, communicating without using words. We know that communication is the process through which human beings talk to each other, converse with each other, communicate with each other. This is how we express our feelings, emotions, needs, desires. But we see that a very significant part of our communication, besides the verbal communication, is the non-verbal communication. As the very name shows, we are talking about communicating without using words. So, how do we communicate without using words? Non-verbal communication can be a very forceful way of expressing your emotions and sending a message. Your eye contact, your gesture, your posture, the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you dress up, the use of personal space that you have, use of touching the other person while communicating. All these things are parts of non-verbal communication. And it is seen that there are gender differences in non-verbal communication. Research shows that women rely more on facial expressions. They communicate a lot. They transmit a lot through their facial expressions, through their eye contact, through the movement of their lips or other movements. They exhibit a greater variety of facial expressions, and they are very good at decoding other people's facial expressions. So a woman as compared to a man would be better in understanding and decoding the facial expressions or the non-verbal messages conveyed by the other person. Research also shows, talking about non-verbal communication, that women in their conversation or communication, they smile a lot as compared to men. But some research also shows that over the past 70, 80, 100 years, whatever the research was done, it was seen that today as compared to 100 years ago, people smile more in general, men and women. But as compared to men, women use smile more. Women can read others' emotions with greater ease and comfort. There may be many reasons for that, but one of the reasons is that women are from the very beginning, they have been sensitized to feel others' emotions. They have been taught and they have been brought up in such a way that they should not disappoint people. They should not make other people unhappy. So they keep noticing other people's reactions towards them. That is one reason. The second reason can be that women look after children, small babies, small infants, whether their own or their younger brothers and sisters or relatives, and they are looking at them and they are noticing their different emotions very closely, which makes them more sensitive to the emotional reactions of other people. It is seen that, of course, men can also understand other people's emotions and non-verbal communication, but women are more sensitive and they are more at ease with this. Fear, sadness, and anger. How do we express our fear? How do we express our sadness and our anger? By a very look at a person's face, you can tell whether the person is happy, unhappy, sad, angry, or afraid. There are cultural differences and gender differences in the expression of these emotions also. Women in general are discouraged from expressing the emotion of anger. And they are allowed to, they are permitted, or maybe at times encouraged to express their sadness and fear. Nobody minds that. कोई लड़कियों को ये नहीं कहता कि नहीं, लड़कियां उदास नहीं होती. On the other hand, boys are discouraged from expressing their fear and sadness, and they are not stopped from, and they are permitted to express their anger. Nobody tells them that showing your anger is bad. So boys or men are discouraged from expressing the fear or sadness emotions. Girls and women are discouraged from displaying anger because it is not considered to be a women's thing. Two other things on which research has been done is touch, the use of touch, and the use of personal space. Research shows that men touch more during their communication with people, and they touch women more. On average, it is seen that both men and women may be touched, but on average, A, men touch more, B, women are touched more as compared to men during communication or conversation. Then about personal space. Men are more protective about their personal space. They are not very happy with the idea of sharing their personal space. Whereas, on the other hand, women would not mind or would not be as protective about their personal space. Online communication, which is something very common these days. It is seen that men write authoritative language more when online. Use of e-communication for women is more frequent, longer, and supportive. Females are less likely to use computers for entertainment as compared to men. But of course, women also use it for entertainment. The feeble advantage. It is seen that since women are good at understanding people's non-verbal cues, they have an advantage when they are working in a hospital setting or at a workplace where public dealing is involved. So they can guarantee customer satisfaction, patient satisfaction, and co-workers and colleagues' satisfaction.